Hey, where are Parambai and Sharadbai? Sabha is supposed to start now.
Sampbai. What's that? There's a note here. Check this out.
To whom it may concern, if you are reading this, it unfortunately means that we are stuck back in time. If we're not back by Sunday at 4 p.m., we have a small favor to ask of you. Please take care of our Bal-Balika virtual Sabha. We will work our hardest to figure out how to get back. But until then, Sabha must go on. Sincerely, Sharadbhai and Parambhai.
Mokshbai? Does this mean that Parambai and Sharadbai are stuck in the past?
Don't worry, they'll be back soon. I hope. But until then, we can help them by leading these Bal-Balika Sabhas.
Yes, that's true. Yogi Baba taught us that no matter what, we should always attend our weekly Bal Sabha. But do you think we can do just as good of a job as Parambai and Sharadbai?
Of course we can. If we remember Maharaj and Swami, there's nothing that we can't do. So until they figure out a way to come back, we'll just have to do our best and keep practicing.
Okay. Actually, you know what, Mokshbai?
What?
Let's make today's Sabha all about practicing, starting off with Jainad. Shri Swaminarayan Bhagavanani
Jai!
Akshar Purushottam Maharajani
Jai!
Gunatitaran Swami Maharajani
Jai!
Bhagat Ji Maharajani
Jai!
Shastri Ji Maharajani
Jai!
Yogi Ji Maharajani
Jai!
Pramukh Swami Maharajani
Jai!
Mahant Swami Maharajani
Jai!
Pramukh Swami Maharaj Shatabdi Mahotsavni
Jai!
Akshardham Mahotsavni.
Jai! Jai! Jai!
Hey Mokshbai, what is your favorite kirtan?
Oh, my favorite kirtan is Ghaneshama Mari Sathe Ramava Avshoke Nai.
Hey, that's a good one. But to sing that kirtan well, we have to practice, because practice makes perfect.
I agree. So to improve in singing, what do we have to do?
We have to practice.
But practicing has to be done right.
Done right? You are telling me that not only do I have to practice, but I also have to practice right? This is so hard.
It may seem intimidating, but I think I found someone who can help us practice perfectly.
Well, let's get to it. On our path to perfecting our practice. Wow, tongue twister.
Let's invite Puja Uttam Shlok Swami to help us. Puja Uttam Shlok Swami was born and brought up in Houston, where he studied computer engineering at the University of Houston. He received Diksha in 2005 during the Pratishta of Delhi Akshardham and is currently serving as a BK Sant in the Midwest region.
So I want everybody to join in the Jainad. Ready? Shri Swaminarayan Bhagwanini Jai, Akshar Purushottam Maharajani Jai, Gunatiyan Swami Maharajani Jai, Bhagat Ji Maharajani Jai, Shastri Ji Maharajani Jai, Yogi Ji Maharajani Jai, Pramukh Swami Maharajani Jai, Mahant Swami Maharajani Jai, Pramukh Swami Maharaj Shatabdi Mahotsavni Jai, Akshardham Mahotsavni Jai. Once there were two homeowners with empty pools in their backyards. Now they both wanted to fill up their pools for the summertime. One owner filled up 20 buckets of water and emptied it in his pool. The second homeowner had a slow but steady stream of water filling up his pool. So what were the results? Well, the first homeowner, his pool didn't fill up even after a month, while the second homeowner, it filled up in no time. Why is that? It's because the second pool had water flowing in regularly and it never stopped. When we're learning something new, in the beginning we're very excited. But as time goes on, we start to lessen our practice. We start to lessen our learning. Similarly to the first owner pouring water once a week in his pool. Sometimes it's not as easy as we thought, and we start to get bored, we start to get lazy, we start to get frustrated, and eventually we stop practicing. So what can we do to make sure that our practice gives us the proper results? I know. How about this? Let's listen to a story.
Once, there was a forgetful child. He was the most forgetful child of them all. No matter what you tell him, no matter how many times you tell him, there was just nothing he could recall. He would forget to brush his teeth and almost everything in the day. He would forget to do the laundry and sometimes even his own birthday. In school, it was not any better. He couldn't remember anything the teacher would say. He could not pay attention because in his mind, the thoughts would just go away. No one ever cared to help him. All he ever wanted to do is play. The child was all alone, so he decided to pave his own way. He stood up and said, "Keep going and never stop. Only then will it fill to the top. Practice makes perfect is the way. Try my best to please my guru every day." He wanted to prove to the world he could be great. He wanted to do so without a doubt. He wanted to prove his friends and teachers wrong, but he knew it would be a difficult route. He prayed to God and kept studying. He wanted to learn some way, somehow. And there was only one way to do it. It was to practice every day starting now. Keep going and never stop. Only then will it fill to the top. Practice makes perfect is the way. Try my best to please my guru every day. And so he did, every day. He didn't miss a beat. Day and night he would study, and sometimes he would even forget to eat. And so the child really wanted to learn Sanskrit. He really believed that he could. He would try and try again, but his memory was not very good. Once again, he said, "Keep going and never stop. Only then will it fill to the top. Practice makes perfect is the way. Try my best to please my guru every day." He came up with a plan, book in his hand, a bowl and cup at his side. The bowl was filled with seeds, sesame seeds. They served as his only guide. To memorize a word, he would repeat it over and over out loud, placing a seed in the cup each time, making himself proud. 1 seed, 2 seed, 3 seeds he moved, but slowly and steadily his impatience grew. He would always say, "I'll do it tomorrow," or "I'll do it later," but he never did. The more he put something off, the more lazier he would get. He got distracted and then remembered. Keep going and never stop. Only then will it fill to the top. Practice makes perfect is the way. Try my best to please my guru every day. He focused on his studies like a laser. No distractions were allowed, not video games, phones, or messages. He kept all of those out. He continued until the bowl was empty, moving over 1 seed at a time. He moved to the next word and started again. There wasn't a mountain he wouldn't climb. After a while, he could recite full sentences. Then he could recite whole books. He became the best scholar and won every debate. People came just to see how he looks. So whenever we feel like quitting or crying, remember that there is always a way. And if we want to accomplish something, we need to practice every single day. Keep going and never stop. Only then will it fill to the top. Practice makes perfect is the way. Try my best to please my guru every day.
Wow, what a great story. So what did we learn from it? Well, we all know that practice makes perfect. The Bardak worked hard every day to learn Sanskrit. He practiced regularly and he made sure never to quit no matter what happened. There was also one quote he repeated every time he was in a tough situation. This quote is very important and I want everybody to say it with me on the count of 3. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Keep going and never stop. Only then will it fill to the top. Practice makes perfect is the way. Try my best to please my guru every day. I couldn't hear everyone, so one more time. Keep going and never stop. Only then will it fill to the top. Practice makes perfect is the way. Try my best to please my guru every day. Good job, guys. This was a very important quote in the story because it helps us to understand the two main points in practicing anything. The first is to practice regularly, and the second is to never quit. So let's jump right into our first point on perfecting what we practice. The first point is regularity. So, what is the meaning of regularity? Regularity means something you do every single day. By doing something every day, we can build a good habit for it, and slowly by slowly, we get better at it as well. We already do some things regularly, such as puja, arti, thar. Pramukh Sai Maharaj used to say that if we want to increase our satsang, if we want to go further into satsang, we have to do satsang reading. He himself read so much. He practiced this every single day. So let's take a look at how Pramukh Sai Maharaj perfected the habit of satsang reading. On August 29th, 2000, Pramukh Sai Maharaj was invited to give a speech at the United Nations World Peace Summit in New York. This peace summit is where many political and spiritual leaders of different countries all over the world get together and speak about how they are going to keep peace around the world. During the opening of the summit, Pramukh Sai Maharaj was going to give a speech to everybody. 30 minutes before arriving at the hall, Pramukh Sai Maharaj, what was he doing? If it was us, what would we be doing? We'd be going over our speech over and over and over again because we'd be very nervous. Pramukh Sai Maharaj, however, was very calm. What was he doing? He was reading. He was reading Yogiji Maharaj's Bodh Kathas. Now, how was Pramukh Sai Maharaj able to read just before speaking in front of the whole world? He was able to do this because he had created a habit of reading regularly. He would read all the time. Not just Bodh Kathas, but he's read all of the Jivan Charitras multiple times. Not just the Jivan Charitras, he's read every single book in our bookstall. Can you imagine that? There's so many books. Even right now, currently Mahant Swami Maharaj makes time every single day out of his busy schedule to read regularly. Mahant Swami Maharaj even reads the Bal Prakash. Imagine that. Through these examples of Pramukh Sai Maharaj and Mahant Swami Maharaj, they show us the importance of being regular in anything that we do. Besides reading, there are many things we may like to do, from playing sports to learning a new instrument such as playing tabla or harmonium, piano, trumpet, flute, etc., to baking, coding, drawing, etc. If we want to become better at any of these skills, we have to remember to practice regularly. And if we ever miss a day of practice or we start to fall out of practicing, remember our secret quote. Let's say it on the count of 3. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Keep going and never stop. Only then will it fill to the top. Practice makes perfect is the way. Try my best to please my guru every day. Once more, just to get it right. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Keep going and never stop. Only then will it fill to the top. Practice makes perfect is the way. Try my best to please my guru every day. Good job, guys. I think you guys are getting this quote down. Let's move on to our second point, which is when we practice regularly, a lot of times we do get frustrated. A lot of times it feels boring, and eventually we feel like quitting. For example, if we play an instrument, we have to play the same note over and over and over again. Or if we draw, a lot of times we do mess up page after page. And this in turn leads us to quit. But when we feel like quitting, what should we do? I know. Let's ask Pramukh Swami Maharaj.
જો ધાર્યું છે માણસે ધાર્યું છે મારે કે માણસ ધારે તો શું ના થાય. આ રોડ કરી નાખ્યા, રસ્તા કરી નાખ્યા, આ બધું કેટલી કેટલી લાઇટો થઈ ગઈ, શહેરનો વિકાસો થઈ ગયા, એ શું થયું? એ માણસે ધાર્યું છે ને. માણસ ભણ્યો ગણ્યો બુદ્ધિ થઈ એટલે વિકાસ થયો. પૃથ્વીમાંથી બધા માણેકને હીરાને બધું કાઢ્યું, દરિયામાંથી મોતી કાઢ્યા. માણસે બધું કર્યું તો બધું આપણે થયું. કે માણસ જો ધારે તો શું ના થાય, એમ કે તમે આ ધારો તો શું થાય, દુનિયા બધું થઈ જાય. એટલે સ્વાય કહેવું પણ ધાર્ય થાય તો ધારે તો બધું થઈ જાય છે. તો આપણે ધારવાની વસ્તુ એટલું જ છે કે આપણે ભગવાનને રાજી કરવા માટે આવ્યા છે. તો એ છે તો એ તે આપણા જીવનની અંદર ધરતા છે તો કોઈ જાતનો વાંધો નહીં આવે.
Pramukh Sai Maharaj said that we can accomplish anything we put our minds to. In doing so, if ever we feel like quitting, we should have the thought to please our Guru. Let's take a look at an example. Once there was a Bardak who wanted to please his Guru by practicing Mukbart. Now, while memorizing Mukbart, we all know it's very hard, and it was very hard for him. But he kept one thought in mind: I don't want to quit. I don't want to quit. I want to please my Guru. So let's take a look at what Pramukh Sai Maharaj said about this Bardak's efforts.
અડધો કલાક સુધી મારું વોકિંગ ચાલ્યું ત્યાં સુધી આમ ફટ બોલી ગયો. એટલે કેટલી સાખ્યો બોલી ગયો, સંસ્કૃતના શ્લોક બોલી પણ ગયો, કેટલા વચનાવતનું બોલી ગયો, બધું જ બોલી ગયા. વચનાવતના મથાણા છે, આપણા વચનાવત છે ને એના ઉપર લખે ને એ દરેકમાં લખેલું હોય છે કે આ વચનાવતનું આ. તો એ બધું 262 વચનાવતનો ઉપરનો હેડિંગ એને મળે કે આ વચનાવતનું આ હેડિંગ છે, આ વચનાવતનું આ હેડિંગ છે, આ વચનાવતનું આ હેડિંગ છે.
Pramukh Sai Maharaj was really pleased by that Bardak's efforts. So just like that Bardak, we all have to remember that anything we want to practice, we should never quit. And instead, think of how we're making our Guru Raji. And remember, when we need that little push, we have our secret quote. Let's say it one last time together. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Keep going and never stop. Only then will it fill to the top. Practice makes perfect is the way. Try my best to please my Guru every day. All right, everyone, let's recap today's presentation. I'm sure all of you noticed that we repeated the quote multiple times. This is because this quote will help us remember everything we learned today, just like it helped the Bardak in learning Sanskrit. The first part is to keep going and never stop. Only then will it fill to the top. Keep going reminds us that we have to keep regularity in anything that we practice. For example, Pramukh Sai Maharaj and Man Sai Maharaj keep regularity in their satsang reading. Never stop, only then will it fill to the top. Shows us that we should never quit no matter what comes our way. Just like Pramukh Sai Maharaj said, we can accomplish anything we put our minds to. The second part is, practice makes perfect is the way. Try my best to please my Guru every day. This method of regularity and not quitting will help us practice and strive to perfection. At the end of the day, we want to try our best to please our Guru, just like the Bardak did in doing Mukbart. We can truly make our Guru happy. So one last time, to make sure we remember this message, I want all of you to try this quote this time without me. Ready? 1, 2, 3, go!
Wow. I wish I had the same determination as a sesame seed scholar. But still, I learned that if I want to be the best in the world, I should practice, never give up, and keep patience.
That's right. And guess what? Balaks and Balikas all over North America have become really good at so many different things over the past couple months. And it's because they've been practicing.
Really? That's super cool. But what about you? What kinds of things have you been practicing?
Well, Sampboy, funny that you ask. I have been practicing playing tabla, and I have to say, I think I'm getting pretty good. Let me play this piece for you.
Okay, please. I think we've all heard enough. I really think you need to practice a bit more. In fact, let me introduce you to a few Badaks who have perfected their skills in proper practice.
Jai Swaminarayan Badaks and Badikas. Through today's Sabha, we learned that by practicing our skills, we can slowly by slowly work to perfect them. By using the two main points of staying regular and never quitting, we can perfect anything that we practice. There are so many examples of Badaks who have shown these 2 points through different things that they practice. Let's take a look at a few examples. The first example is of Maharshi Bhai from Detroit, Michigan. Maharshi Bhai is 6 years old, and for the last few months, he spent his time memorizing the Sahajana Namavali. A lot of the names were long or difficult to memorize, but by staying regular and never giving up, Maharshi Bhai was able to remember the entire Sahajana Namavali. Then we have Ayan Bhai from Wichita, Kansas. Sometimes it is very difficult to learn how to play a new instrument, but Ayan Bhai dedicated time to regularly practice, and he never quit. His practice helped him get better at playing not one, but 2 instruments, the violin and harmonium. He kept going and never stopped, and because of that, Ayan Bhai knows how to play 2 different instruments. Next, we have 2 Badaks from Cleveland, Ohio, Shayar Bhai and Ashik Bhai. They're brothers who spend time playing basketball together at home. Not only is this a great way to build some or unity with one another, but this helps both of them practice their skills at basketball. They practice regularly and help motivate each other so neither of them quits playing. Lastly, we have Vandanpai from Cincinnati. Vandanpai has been practicing how to bake. Yes, that's right, baking. Vandanpai has a passion for baking different things like cookies and cakes. He takes the time out to practice this regularly. And with the full help of his family, Vandanpai even baked a cake for his father's birthday. He would put all the ingredients together and finish making the cake, and then he would ask his parents to put it in the oven. Because Vandanpai practiced often and never gave up, he was able to get better at his skill of baking. Other than all of these skills, there are so many more that we can practice at home. But we have to remember to
keep going
and never stop.
Only then will it fill to the top.
Practice makes perfect is the way.
Try my best
to please my Guru
every day.
Every day.
Every day. Every day.